I've seen this movie before. I'm guessing that's your initial reaction when seeing the thumbnail of this video. But it's when you take a step closer and start to notice the details that you realize there's something truly special and understated happening here. And that's the entire premise of DELMA. Hi everyone, if you're new here, do consider subscribing. It helps more than you know. Also, if you're looking for a new watch, head over to Red Army Watches Malaysia website, link in the description below. Thanks. There's a reason why Rolex is king. There's no definitive alternative that has excelled in everything from heritage, branding, quality, and design point of view. Every time a Rolex alternative video comes along, it's a clickbait designed to bring attention to a watch brand that may have, at least in a realistic and relative sense, ticked one of the several boxes that Rolex is best known for. Maybe it has a reliable movement, maybe it has a good design, maybe it has a Pepsi bezel, or maybe it is just a downright near identical homage with a different brand name. I won't call this DELMA Santiago GMT an affordable alternative to Rolex. And if I did that in the title, that's just based on what the SEO wants me to do. This is a great watch brand on its own that ticks a lot of boxes and offers insane performance for the dollar amount. DELMA was founded in 1924 in Langnau, Switzerland by two brothers. Ever since its inception, almost 100 years ago, this family-owned Swiss watchmaker has been focused on producing precise and reliable timekeeping instruments meant to be used as tools. Their heritage shines with mechanical chronographs, pointer dates, and dive watches. In 1946, the brand produced its first hand-wound mechanical chronograph in gold. 7 years later, they created a sportier chronograph focused towards racing, with features like tachymeter, loomed hands, and a robust Valjoux 7736 caliber. And then in 1969, DELMA released its first dive watch, which trailblazed the path to this genre of sports watchmaking for the brand. But besides tool watches, they also dipped their toes in various complications, like the Klondike in platinum and gold, released in 1991 with moon phase and pointer date functions. Today, the brand offers several models that are still very true in terms of their design to the original watches. But compared to the 45mm Santiago chronograph that came out a decade ago, this new model feels fresh. It feels modern, offering highly anticipated upgrades that will sit well with both the collector and the enthusiast. The watch comes in a 43mm stainless steel case with a thickness of just 13.3mm, which includes a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating, a lug width of 22, and a lug-to-lug of 51mm. You also get a Swiss automatic movement with GMT function and 500 meters of water resistance, all for a price tag of under $2,000. Typically, when you have anything over 300 meters of water resistance, watches start to become beefy and chunky. That is not the case here. Having 500 meters of water resistance means that this watch is built to withstand anything. Plus, give it a GMT function and this can be your one and done timekeeper. Good for sports, good for diving, and good for traveling. Yes, it is a function-driven tool watch, but it will pair well with a suit. The case architecture is impeccable in its quality, and you judge this by rubbing your hands over the case to see how smoothly your hand glides over the chamfered edges. It sits so comfortably on the wrist. And even though it reads 43mm on the spec sheet, it definitely appears to wear smaller than that. The case finishing looks premium as well, with polished edges and case sides, along with satin brushing on the top of the lugs. Out of the 4 colorways from the Santiago GMT collection, the Meridian White is the one that I gravitate towards the most. It's not obvious at first glance, but when you take a second look at it, you start to notice a carbon weave pattern on the dial and how it plays with light. It's subtle enough not to make the dial look too busy, but adds a visual depth to make it not look bland. Legibility is not an issue. You get applied C3 Swiss Luminova filled indices with Arabic numerals at the 6, 9, and 12 o'clock. The date window at 3 is big, bold, and highly legible thanks to the cyclops that just magnifies that date. The hour and minute hands are both loomed, with the seconds hand tip painted in red. You also get a red broad arrow GMT hand that can be adjusted independently to track a second time zone when synchronized with the unidirectional rotating bezel. When fully charged, the loom glows incredibly well. The signed screw-down crown is easy to grip and operate thanks to its steep ridges. You get both hacking seconds hand, meaning that the seconds hand stops when you pull out the crown for easier time adjustment, and manual wind to power up the movement. For the price and the overall specifications, this is understandably an office GMT, which means that this is more practical to track a second time zone from home base. I don't see this as a GMT watch with high water resistance. I see this as a dive watch that has an added GMT function. Like I said, one and done kind of watch. Powering the watch is a Swiss automatic Sellita SW330-2, having a beat frequency of 4 Hz, 56 hours of power reserve, and a GMT function. The caliber is decently decorated with perlage on the bridges and Geneva stripes on the custom rotor with DELMA logo in gold. The reliability and accuracy of this GMT movement is one of the reasons why it is so popular among entry to mid-range watch brands, including Christopher Ward and Zen. The mixture of brushed and polished finishing extends all the way through to the bracelet. And what's even more impressive is that the brand didn't cut corners when it comes to the actual quality of the bracelet. The 5-link stainless steel bracelet feels solid, tapers well, and has a well-built folding clasp with micro adjustments. This automatic version can be had for just under $2,000, but if that's beyond your budget, you can also opt for the quartz version at around $850. You still get everything else here except for the mechanical movement. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about the DELMA Santiago GMT? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.